Hey everybody, what's up? Seth Harwood here. Thanks to Mark for having me on. Hopefully you've heard of me by now. If not, check out my stuff at sethharwood.com. I do a crime fiction podcast fiction. I'm on Podiobooks. I do the Jack Palms crime series. Main character is Jack Palms. He gets into all kind of trouble. First book is Jack Wakes Up, which is coming out in print on March 16th, Palm Sunday, this year, 2008. And I'm just wrapping up Jack Palms 2, This Is Life, over at my site. So there's plenty of stuff there for you to check out. I'm here today to talk about dialogue and good writing with you guys. First of all, good writing is something that the sentences are basically like they need to carry the weight of your whole story. So if you think of your story as a house, the pieces that make up that house need to be strong. And to make strong sentences, they need to be able to do more than one thing at the same time. I'm going to talk about this idea today in terms of dialogue. So, you want your sentences to do as many things as they can at once. A good rule of thumb is to have them doing at least two things. If you do that, your writing is a lot stronger than if they're doing one thing. The story can be heavier, it sits on the sentences that are stronger, and you're going to be better off. So, here's the three things that good dialogue should be able to do. You want to try and shoot for at least two of these with all of your dialogue. The first one is develop character. Dialogue can, through your dialogue, you can show how a character thinks, how a character talks, what a character's attitude is towards situations. If he comes in and he's pissed off about everything, then you know that the character has this kind of personality. You don't want to get into dialect and start cutting off your words and stuff like that, doing misspellings to try and convey what a character's like. But through the syntax and through what the guy says, you want to convey some personality. Number two is escalate the plot. Now, when you're writing dialogue, things should be happening that the characters are talking about. You don't want to do meat and potatoes dialogue, where someone's like, "Can you pass the potatoes, please?" "Yes, here's the potatoes." You don't want to do that. Get away from that. Get into stuff where people are talking about things that are directly about the plot and keep the plot moving forward. Third thing, and this mostly pertains to writing novels. This isn't going to happen in movies because everything's visual there. So if you're writing a screenplay, this isn't so much for you. But if you're writing a novel, you want your dialogue to sometimes develop the setting. Talk about what's going on in the scene. For instance, Mark was talking about The Matrix. If a character walks into the big room where all the eggs are and he's like, "What the hell is all this stuff? What is going on here?" He can start pointing things out to people. "What is that big egg thing up there? What are these crazy giant pillars?" By having the people talk about what's going on, even describing actions, like if a character says, if a character starts saying, "Why do you have your finger in your ear?" then you know one of the other characters has his finger in his ear. That's a quick way to describe things that are happening instead of saying, "Joe put his finger in his ear." A better way is to have Tony say, "Hey, why the fuck are you putting your finger in your ear, asshole?" Now you know Tony's a jerk, Joe's putting his finger in his ear, and when Joe comes back and says he's blocking his hearing so that the marmosets don't yell into his brain, then you know the plot action is going forward. So, those are the three things that good dialogue can do. Remember, your sentences should always try and do double or triple duty. That's how your writing will get stronger and better. Check me out at sethharwood.com. Like I said, This Is Life is wrapping up now. Come on over and have a listen. Podcast fiction, baby. Thanks, Mark, for having me on. I'll see you guys next time. Write well.